Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. I don't know about you guys, but I share this sentiment from Ashley Prosper here on Twitter. The next week is going to be very interesting. Come April 27th, we will have been waiting 52 days from when Judge Torres ruled on the Dober motions. This interests me because it took Judge Torres 52 days to decide the Dober motions, so I assume her summary judgment ruling will be just around the corner. I mean, a lot of us are hoping for this. We are slowly approaching the end of April 2023, and we thought we were going to have a verdict by the end of March. There are some inclinations, though, guys, that we could be, in fact, waiting for a reason that has just come to light as of late, which I will get to in a second. The uncertain nature of cryptocurrencies in the United States has been proving to be a tumultuous ride over the last several months. During 2022, once we heard news of the Terra Luna fiasco, we did see the market turn on itself. That was in around this period here. And then, of course, the big FTX story, which really got the bear market down to its lowest point, was in and around here, November of 2022. Now, that said, 2023 has been positive, even though we haven't been seeing much positive momentum over the last few days. But guys, overall, trends still looking fairly good, although right now Bitcoin is trading at about $27,900 per coin. So it is back down from that $30,000 mark that we broke, last weekend? We broke $30,000 around last weekend. So Bitcoin down a little bit. Let me bring up XRP here. XRP down as well, down to about 46.8. So all part and parcel to the market movements that we're seeing in this point in time. Looking up any cryptocurrency, we're seeing over the last few days, let's say 3 or 4 days, we've been having some market moves to the downside. This is Algorand. Let me bring up VeChain. VeChain also seeing a market decline of roughly 13-14% in the last 3 or 4 days. So guys, maybe a good opportunity to buy the dip. Not financial advice, of course. Even HBAR, one of my more recent favorite cryptocurrencies, is down about 11% over the last 3 days. So markets are down a little bit. We're hoping for something by the end of this month. An interesting new partnership, one that I've never heard of before. Rentero is attempting to tokenize vacation rentals on blockchain using the XRP ledger. This coming from the Wrath of Kahneman on Twitter, and he posted this document here from this company called Rentero. Learn, invest, travel, and work, revolutionizing vacation rentals with tokenization and blockchain, offering seamless travel experiences and investment opportunities while solving inefficiencies and lowering costs in the industry. So I found this to be quite interesting. Even in their table of contents, they have a whole section here on page 27. Why use the Ripple ledger? So I'm just going to go down to page 27 here and read you guys a little bit of this. Of course, we know the basics. Open decentralized platform used for cryptocurrencies in the financial industry. One of the critical features of the XRPL that makes it well suited for Rentero, though, is its support for CBDC, central bank digital currencies. The examples they give here are the US dollar and the euro issued by central banks. They offer many benefits over traditional fiat currencies, including increased security and efficiencies, and the ability to be used in various financial transactions. XRPL's support of CBDCs means that Rentero could use it to facilitate transactions in a wide range of different currencies and assets, making it easy for users to buy and sell tokenized assets quickly and securely. They also mention down here that the XRPL uses Ripple's protocol consensus algorithm, and that ensures that transactions on the network are secure, fast, and at a low cost. So, it's interesting that they're using the XRP ledger specifically for the future possibility of central bank digital currencies. And it is all mentioned here in this report, so I will link this in the description of the video. Wanted to thank Wrath of Kahneman here for mentioning that. Also happened to see this, guys, from Michael Branch. So now it's looking as though Iraq citizens can now trade XRP through the CoinMina exchange. CoinMina, a leading cryptocurrency exchange looking to serve the Middle East, has expanded its services to Iraq, allowing investors in the country to seamlessly trade XRP as well as other digital assets supported by the platform. So one of the big things about the CoinMina exchange is that it is Sharia compliant. It's a Sharia compliant cryptocurrency operation out of the Kingdom of Bahrain, in which it has secured all operational licenses. The exchange is regulated by the Central Bank of Bahrain and seeks to expand to the Middle East and North African region. I'm guessing that that expansion is going to happen later this year, maybe into 2024. The latest expansion brings the total number of countries supported by CoinMina to 8. The platform carried out a slew of expansive moves last year, penetrating Qatar in May of 2022 and Egypt in July of 2022. So Iraq is the latest destination for CoinMina, guys, and now XRP trading is going to be available in the country of Iraq, a Sharia-compliant cryptocurrency on a Sharia-compliant exchange. So Don't know how many Iraqis are trading in cryptocurrency. However, more volume does not hurt XRP's bottom line. I mean, once we get the clarity, the USA will be opened up in a more meaningful capacity. I know that XRP is currently already listed on Uphold. However, Coinbase, this is going to be the big relisting to get mainstream populations back trading. Back when we see this bull run continue to move its way up, we are going to see more FOMO. We're going to see more interest in the market. And so, hopefully, as we're moving towards clarity, we're going to start to see these exchanges relist one by one. Anyway, wanted to thank Michael for posting that. There was also some confusion. I know Moon Lambo participated in a Spaces the other day. He said that Ripple never sold XRP directly to retail, and somebody was looking to correct him on that. Murph down here, though, I think sums it up. I think they're conflating sales to exchanges that sell to retail with Ripple selling directly to the public. So there was that misconception there. Ripple did sell to exchanges, and by extension, those exchanges did sell to the public. So that would constitute an indirect sale to retail. However, Ripple, the court case is very specific about selling to retail customers directly, or at least that's just one of the sticking points here. So he wanted to clear that up. The other thing I wanted to mention, though, and I think the reason why this issue had been brought up was because of this particular tweet thread here. Wheezy at Nerd Nation Unbox just posting this article with regards to this. Now, David Schwartz did chime in on this tweet thread. Let me read you guys a little bit of what was going on here. Scams are bad at Scam Detective 5, who's a bit of a troll in the XRP community, retweeted at this Tiffany Hayden tweet from back in November of 2021. I don't remember if you guys remember when this came out. XRP was created to sell to retail. Full stop. So Tiff Hayden, starting with a little bit of FUD here. Again, this was back a couple years ago now. MoFit Tech Trades, though, getting into this, when asked what it was, Scams Are Bad said that it was a gas token for a network. So basically suggesting that XRP is not what we all think it is. And Scams Are Bad said that, basically looking back at Jed's deposition when they went to court all those years ago, Jed said exactly that in a deposition. Ripple's entire business plan was to sell XRP. So Azrael did also comment on that, and I'm sorry if I'm jumping back and forth. In my opinion, Ripple was created to sell XRP to retail. So he's of the same opinion here. I'm not sure if you and Tiffany are saying this in combat of the phrase XRP was never for retail, but there was an obvious disagreement regarding XRP being sold to retail the way it was, so Jed left. So a very heated debate here, reigniting some of this speculation about Jed McCaleb. I mean, we do have Ripple on the record, and let's remember this. I don't have an article stating this up here right now, but I mean, it has been clear from the get-go, Ripple does have a vested interest in raising the price of XRP because a more valuable XRP would benefit their business model. So that has been on the record. So whether they sold to retail or not, getting it in retail's hands was obviously very beneficial for them. Now, David Schwartz has come out responding to this. He basically said, at least in my view, Ripple was created to distribute XRP as broadly as possible, and with luck and if necessary, be able to generate enough revenue from sales or things like sales. So there was a point where Ripple did in fact give away XRP. And I think that is, in a lot of cases, that has become lost in recent history. So things like sales or revenue from sales of XRP to sustain its operations. So no, they were not selling directly to retail. They were selling for ODL purposes more recently. So since the lawsuit, from my understanding, if I got that timing right. Anyway, David Schwartz has come out and stated this. Now, that is interesting, considering back in 2014, Jed McCaleb did say this on a panel. Now, I happen to see this courtesy of Mr. Man on Twitter. It was from a panel discussion here that you can find on YouTube, and I will link this in the description of the video, the Future of Money and Technology Summit 2014. So almost 10 years ago. And here's what Jed McCaleb said. Listen to this.
I also think that we're pretty far off still. But I think one interesting thing is that it's pretty clear that it will happen. There will be some worldwide, ubiquitous payment method, like some digital currency. It just makes so much sense, given the way the internet works and given how global the world is now. It doesn't make sense to have all these different currencies. They should all just be one common language, essentially, that people can interact with. So I think the route is inevitable. It's just how we end up getting there is still an open question, and how long it'll take is still an open question. But it's pretty clear that it will happen.
There will be one worldwide ubiquitous payment cryptocurrency. Again, he said this 9 years ago in 2014. Now, many of you are probably thinking that he is suggesting that Stellar's XLM will be that ubiquitous payment cryptocurrency. Or maybe he's suggesting something else altogether. Remember, guys, back in 2014, Ripple did not have nearly the amount of partnerships that they have today. Think of all the central banks that they have signed. Think of all the financial institutions that they're working with, and all the other regional banks around the world that Ripple has partnered with. If there were to be today one worldwide ubiquitous payment cryptocurrency, I think it's pretty clear that that would have to be XRP. I mean, some might argue that it would be Bitcoin, but Bitcoin clearly, I mean, the technology behind Bitcoin is so antiquated that it could never scale for global payments. So, I mean, what would be the next option? I mean, realistically, what would be the next option that could realistically be, as Jed McCaleb said, a worldwide ubiquitous payment cryptocurrency? Maybe he did have lofty goals at this point in time to make Stellar a bigger company than Ripple back in 2014. Obviously, you know, the way it's panned out over the last 9 years, that clearly has not happened. So when Jed McCaleb says this, I don't think he's far off, and I don't think he necessarily meant XRP. However, the direction the world is going, you know, with the partnerships and the way we're seeing things progress, I don't think he's off base. Also consider the US dollar dominance too, that issue that we're having now in BRICS countries wanting to, displace the US dollar for trade in that particular region of the world. So a worldwide ubiquitous payment cryptocurrency, maybe he wasn't thinking to provide liquidity. However, you could use XRP for payments as well. You would just have to skip the transaction step in the, in the cross-border transaction, fiat to fiat. If we were to give the example of a fiat to fiat, you would just have to skip that step and utilize XRP for payments directly. I mean, that is what it is. I mean, that's why it's liquid, or that's why they want it to be liquid. And right now, as it stands, you could utilize XRP in a real world capacity. So I thought that was an interesting comment too. Also, I mean, even if we just consider the news that has come out recently, this one from April 19th, just a couple of days ago, from the Bank of England and the BIS, specifically brought to us by Matthew Liny here on Twitter, with regards to Project Meridian, simplifying transactions through innovation, DLT for settlement. Now, in no particular case do they keep it very broad here, so they do not mention which distributed ledger technology they're talking about. But Matt here, obviously, highlighting the potentials here: XRP, XLM, XDC, Quant, Algo, HBAR. We don't really know, but I mean, even if we just follow the breadcrumbs, BIS, obviously the Bank of England, already a Ripple partner, and the Bank for International Settlements, there's a connection there to Ripple and XRP. So, the good news is it's interoperable. So even if they do use other blockchain technologies, RippleNet can definitely interoperate. Here they mention the use of DLT network to orchestrate settlement. For an RTGS system to move funds as part of a synchronized settlement, it needs to be able to receive payment messages. So they mentioned section 5.1 here. The RTGS system is agnostic to the technology that the system generating these messages is based on. And so Project Meridian uses a synchronization network based on distributed ledger technology. It has proved that RGTS systems, which have a centralized ledger, can interlink with DLT-based networks. So there you go, the interoperability. The synchronization operator in the Meridian prototype uses permission DLT platforms. Each of the actors involved in the transaction, and only those actors, has a node on the network. The identity of each actor would be confirmed using trusted credentials, providing confidence that synchronized settlement is secure. And Matt down here did also link the link here to the PDF in this tweet thread. So I will link this in the description if you guys are interested in reading more. I mean, we just got waved that the MiCA rules are passing in Europe, so that's positive news. When are we going to hear a verdict in the US? Well, before 2025. And before you shoot the messenger, Mr. Hubert here posted this. At least one date is certain. Torres' term ends in 2 years, so she must issue her verdict before November 2025. Okay, we're hoping it's not going to go that long, and it probably will not. Probably. Okay, now I'm just getting silly. It's Friday, and I'm feeling the vibe. But guys, is she holding back for a specific reason? I mean, we thought we were going to get a verdict by the end of March, and, with all the XRP lawyer professional opinions in the community, we were, trying to pinpoint a time frame that seemed reasonable. And, the end of March did at a certain point. Ashley Prosper here, her eyes are on April 27th. John Dean was throwing around a May 6th date. So, within the next 2-3 weeks, give or take. Well, something interesting, guys, that I noticed that I wanted to bring to your attention was this. A tweet originally tweeted out by JV here on Twitter. I honestly don't believe Judge Torres is still working on that summary judgment. So, don't know why he's posting that. However, Bill Morgan here on Twitter, another XRP community lawyer, has some insight on what could be happening behind the scenes. Are you thinking about the Gensler slip of the tongue when testifying, in which he referred to discussions with Ripple? I've been involved in a matter after the trial, but before judgment in which the parties notified the judge they had reached settlement in principle, but still needed more time to settle in the expectation the judge would hold back delivery of the judgment. So, in essence, what he's saying is Judge Torres already does have her verdict. However, both parties are in active agreement to settle, something that we're not privy to right now, but they're in active agreement to make a settlement. And so they went to the judge and they said, hey, can you hold off on your verdict because we do still want to make, see if we can kind of come to an agreement on a settlement. And so Bill is suggesting that this could, in fact, be what is happening behind closed doors. He continues on by saying, of course, we did not know and never will know if it had been written or part written. And so trying to change the world, responding here, was there a slip? I've only seen clips of things and none of them showed that. Bill Morgan responding, yes, he was asked about XRP and answered there were active discussions and litigation. And if you guys do not remember, it was from a clip that I did the day after the hearings, and I'll link the video about the highlights from that day up here in the top right-hand corner. But here is the clip specifically. Warren Davidson asking Gary Gensler if he thinks XRP is a security, and Gary's response, well, pay close attention to it.
Do you say XRP is a security?
Well, we're in court and active discussions and litigation on that matter.
You're in litigation because you do say it's a security.
In court, in active litigations and discussions on that. So is something brewing behind the scenes? As per Bill Morgan, it sounds as though this is the slip of the tongue that he's talking about here. Over the Moon responding, my first impression was that the active discussions referring to ongoing internal strategy discussions he was having with his litigation teams. Bill says it could mean that, although that would fall under litigation, so he could have just said litigation. So, being very, very specific with the terms here, Bill, being a lawyer, has noticed this. TS here saying, I don't put too much credence on his statement as the question caught him by surprise. And then he started babbling. JV saying that too, but I feel like these facts are really straightforward. Apply the law where they fit and make a sound judgment wherever they don't. For the most part, this case is about an asset. Does it pass the Howey test or not? And Marvin Nodalo here saying the fact that Stewart is in London, I'm leaning towards the case is almost done. And both parties may have settled, and maybe the SEC has one condition which all parties, Ripple and the judge, agreed on for the ruling to be released, hence the deafening silence. Now, that's the other thing. We have not gotten an update in a long time. Usually we get, a long time in quotes. It's all relative, right? Usually we get something from James K. Filan updating us on, anything, but we haven't heard anything. Bill, do you have a point here? I think certainly something to be thinking about. Active negotiations and settlement could still be coming down the pipe. I know this would certainly help XRP be that worldwide ubiquitous payment cryptocurrency once the US, the biggest market, has clarity. That is just my opinion, though. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.